Hello and welcome to Secrets of Mastering the Game of Life. This is your host, Issachar. I want to thank you guys for tuning in and being a part of this great webinar. For the next 60 minutes, one of the things that we want to talk about tonight is we're going to get into some great content. I have a lot of things that I want to give to you guys in a shorter period of time. So if you can, put your phones on mute. And for the next 60 minutes, we're going to go in and really get into some great content and some great things that are coming in. So we'll be able to come in and get some things going in that regard. So as we begin to start, when starting the Secrets of Mastering the Game of Life, one of the things that I begin to look at is looking at the game of life as a game. Some may say, how do you look at life as a game? Life is serious. Life is about maturity. Life is about marriage, relationships. It's about career, family, development. It's about becoming something in life. And so when we begin to look at life in that regard, we begin to see things as it manifests and comes into those particular dynamics. Each player must accept the cards life deals him or her. But once they are in hand, he or she alone must decide how to play the cards in order to win in the game of life. So listen, when you're born, you're dealt a hand in the game of life. You may not be dealt a good hand. Some people are dealt better hands than other hands. I grew up in a poor community. I wasn't able to do some of the things that other kids were able to do. I didn't have all the things that I should have had as a child. I wasn't in the greatest neighborhoods. I may not have my parents. I may be in a foster home. These are the hands that life dealt you. But because you were dealt those hands in the game of life doesn't mean that you now cannot come into a place now where you can now manifest and be able to really come into this great notion of understanding and knowing that your life is in a better position now. Playing the hand to win in the game of life is not about how good or bad your hand is. Some people may have a better hand than you, but it doesn't mean that they're going to win in the game of life. It doesn't mean that just because they had a better childhood, just because maybe they were born, quote unquote, with the silver spoon in their mouth, doesn't mean that they're going to be able to manifest and do some things that they needed to do. But what ends up happening is this. We move into a level of understanding to where we begin to realize that I have to be able to create my own reality. And it doesn't matter about what somebody else does or doesn't do or what somebody else thinks or doesn't think. At the end of the day, it's all about me and what I'm doing with my life. What can I do to change my life? What changes do I need to make? And what changes do I need to be able to manifest? And so when we begin to move into that area, we begin to understand, and we see here that we must be before we can do, right? And what that necessarily means is this. I will never get out of life anything that I want. As long as I want to be successful, as long as I want to be great, as long as I want to be an overcomer, as long as I want to be a financial in financial abundance, as long as I want those things in life. You never get out of life what you want. You only get out of life what you become. So we must be before I can do. Before I can do anything in life, I must be the thing that I want to do. Because life doesn't give me what I wish and hope for. It gives me what I become. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So I must be before I can do. And I can do only to the extent of which we are. And what we are depends upon what we think. Because what we think is really the foundation upon which everything else lies, right? How we think, how we operate. So in life, when we connect with people, when we meet people, we're not connecting with their outer appearance. We're not connecting with how they look. We're not connecting with what they drive. We're not connecting with what clothes do they wear, jewelry, money, finances, all of these things that we see from the outside perspective. We're not connected with those things. What we're connecting with is the person's mind. So that's what we're connecting with. And so as we begin to understand and begin to move into this level of understanding, we begin to know now that I must be before I can do. I can only do to the extent which I am. And what I am will always determine how I think. This is a great key, because what this does now, it brings me into a greater understanding of being able to understand that, listen, life has already dealt me a certain hand in life, right? You can get upset, you can get mad. You were dealt a hand in life. There's nothing you can do about the hand that you were dealt, right? It's the hand that you've been dealt. But what I want to show you tonight is how you can take that hand that you were dealt and begin to manifest and move into some great opportunities. So you'll be able to really see how things transcend and things move into a greater level, right? So there are four kind of people in this world, right? Wait, let me. There are four kind of people in this world: the players, the watchers, the wanderers, and the wanderers and the wanderers. Right? The players are the people who are actually playing in the game of life. These are the people who are saying to themselves, "Listen, I'm ready to take life to the next level. I'm in the game of life. I'm playing the game of life." The watchers are people who are sitting in the stands, who are the spectators. Those are the people who are saying to themselves, they're cheering on the other people who are actually playing the game of life. They're sitting on the sidelines watching. They're not playing in the game of life. They're not even a part of the game of life. They're on the outside looking in. The wanderers are people who are outside and just wandering around. They have no clue. They have no clue about what's going on in life. They have no clue about what's going on in their lives. They're saying to themselves that maybe one day if it happens to me, maybe one day if I can be successful, maybe one day if I can begin to manifest and live my dreams and my goals, that something will be able to come into perspective that will be able to help me and move me into a greater opportunity, right? Those are the wanderers. The wanderers are those who are just lost in life. They don't know if they're coming or going. They don't know what the day of the week is. They're just existing. They're not even living. We call them the walking dead, right? The living dead, because they're not living. They're just existing. So these are the four kind of people that you're going to meet in life. Each one of you tonight that are watching, you fall under one of those categories. Either you're a player, you're a watcher, you're a wanderer, or you're a wanderer, right? And so you have to choose which one of these people you want to move into. Which one of these positions in the world do you want to move into? And so the best position, of course, is to be a player in the game of life, right? Because when you become a player in the game of life, what you're saying is you're taking control of your life. You're no longer allowing life to just dictate to you how you ought to live. But in retrospect now, what you're doing is you're reiterating and you're dictating to life how you want to live. Because I believe that we all can create our own reality. The 5 keys to establishing your self-image. Now, I teach a class every Monday, and the class that I teach is called The Art of Manifestation. Those of you that stick with me long enough tonight, we're going to get into some things. I'm going to give you a great opportunity at the end of this webinar to really unleash and move into some great things, right? What I've noticed is that even in teaching in the classes on Monday nights, is that the first thing that I notice is that becomes a key problem in manifesting and really moving on with your life is self-image, self-awareness, self-love, self-appreciation. or should I say the lack of. And so what happens is we begin to, a lot of us are frustrated in life because there may be somebody who's watching this that says to themselves, listen, I've been trying to be successful. I've been moving. I've been doing the right things. I've been trying to connect with the right people. I've been trying to be with like-minded people. I've been getting into the right networks, but things are not happening. Well, you got to come back to the foundational level of your self-image. How do you see yourself? It's not about how people see you. It's about how you see yourself. So the first key to establishing your self-image is to unmask, right? To take the mask off. Many of us, we put a mask on. We don't want people to really know who we are. We don't want people to really know the real us, the not so cool us, the burden us, the hurt us, the broken us. We don't want people to see that. So we put on a mask and we pretend to be somebody who we're not. We put on this facade. We put on this image that we want people to believe that we are. And some of us has been wearing the mask so long that we really forgot who we are. We lost our true identity. There's 3 reasons why many of us are born. There's 3 reasons why everybody is born. The first reason is self-discovery. You must discover who you are. That's the first reason. The second reason is you must discover your gifts and your talents, right? That's the second reason. Your third reason for being born is being able to serve humanity at some level. So you're not born and given gifts and talents just for yourself. The gifts and the talents that you're given are so that you can serve humanity and begin to provide a service, right? There's nobody that's rich or successful that does not provide a service. Everybody who you can call Oprah Winfrey, Bill Gates, anybody who you can call, right? The late great Steve Jobs, right? Zuckerberg, right? From Facebook, they all provide a service, right? And so the self-discovery is very vital. It's very key, right? Taking off the mask begins to allow you to now face the person in the mirror, the man in the mirror, and begin to say to yourselves, listen, I need to start recognizing and connecting with who I am, coming into a true identity, right? Number 2, being honest with yourself about where you're at this particular time in your life, not trying to, because you can fool everybody. You can fool all the people around you. You can fool everybody else, but you can never really fool yourself, because at the end of the day, you got to deal with yourself, me, myself, and I, right? So being honest, coming to a level of honesty about yourself, saying to yourself, listen, I'm at a position now in my life where I feel that now is the great time for me to just be totally honest with myself about where am I at in my life right now? Where am I? Because once I come into a level of honesty about where I'm at, it now allows me to begin to now be able to manifest, to create some goals, to start planning and positioning myself to where I need to be or what I desire to do at this particular time. But being honest with yourself also allows you to become, to let off any kind of animosity, any kind of things that you're holding on to begin to let go of that. Now you're being honest with yourself and saying, listen, you know what? You might not be ready to take on this particular thing that you were anticipating taking on. You might have, you may need to wait a little while. You may need to, calm down and, be at peace for a minute. You may have taken on too many things and you need to put some things down. So, being honest with yourself brings you to that place of being connected and being solidified and being able to come down into a humble positioning to where now you can now move into a greater level, right? The next one, number 3, is have that winning feeling, right? In the game of life, we're going to talk about this later. I'm going to show you how to always win, right? But how many know that when you feel good about yourself, things begin to happen and things begin to maneuver? So listen, let me tell you a story. I teach the class every Monday night, the art of manifestation. There was a gentleman that came to the class every week. He was going through some issues. We were helping him every week. Every week, he was using the techniques and the principles that I'm going to be sharing with you tonight. And what happened was he decided one day, he woke up one morning and said this: today is going to be the day. It's going to be the best day of my life. I'm not going to let anybody or any circumstance stop me from being, doing, and having whatever it is I want today. I'm going to allow today to be the best day of my life. I'm going to walk in with great abundance and joy. No matter what happens or doesn't happen, I'm claiming today as a great day, as the greatest day of my life, right? What he did now was take control of his feelings, and he began to tell his feelings that, listen, I'm creating a winning attitude. Today is going to be a great day. We're not going to let anything come into it and let anything destroy my day. He began to control his feelings. He put on the winning feeling. As soon as he got to work, a couple of people walked up to him and they said, hey, man, there's something different about you. Did you get a haircut? Did you lose weight? Now, notice he didn't change anything. He never got a haircut. He never lost weight. He changed how he felt about himself. He changed how he thought about himself. He began to create that winning feeling. And by creating that winning feeling, guess what? It changed how people saw him. It changed how people received him. And so when you begin to understand about that winning feeling and being able to put that winning feeling on, you'll be able to understand and move into a deeper level of understanding of who you are. And you'll get one step closer to being able to connect with the self-image of who you are. Because a lot of times we look for the winning feeling or the happy feeling outside of ourselves, right? And so another thing that I teach is that never go outside of yourself looking for things. You know, I go outside of myself looking for love. I go outside of myself looking for happiness. I go outside of myself looking for affection, looking for attention, right? Anything that I go outside of myself for to get, I give that thing power over me. So if I go outside of myself looking for love, whatever I attach myself to, whether it's a person, place, or thing, if I attach myself to that thing for love, that thing now has power over me. So you never want to go outside of yourself for anything that you already have within you, right? The winning feeling was already inside of this gentleman. All he had to do was go in and activate it. And once he activated the winning feeling, guess what? His outside world began to change because people came up to him and say, oh, did you get a haircut? Did you lose weight? He didn't change anything. The only thing he did was go within and begin to activate that winning feeling. And so number 4, we move into cultivate good habits, right? Cultivating good habits, right? Beginning to now understand and move ourselves into a understanding of what habits do I want to cultivate? What are some good habits that I haven't been doing that I need to do, right? Because what you're doing now, remember, we are establishing our self-image. And if I have already taken off my mask and I'm letting everybody see me, the good, bad, and the ugly me, I'm being honest with myself, I'm putting on that winning feeling, I now have to begin to cultivate good habits. Why? Because I want my image to present and to represent who I am, my self-image. And I need my self-image to be anchored with good habits, right? Next, we move into aim to be happy, right? So now that we're talking about the aim to be happy, take a look at this. In life, many of us are not even aiming. We're not even aiming in life. Many of us are just allowing life to just existing. We're not living. If the sun comes up today, it comes up. If it doesn't come up, it doesn't come up. We whatever happens, happens. If it doesn't happen, it happens. We don't have no clue, right? Life is about what you are dictating and what you want to manifest and bring into existence. So many of us are not even aiming at anything. We're not even aiming at anything. But if you're going to aim, at least aim to be happy. Aim at something that's going to bring you happiness, something that's going to bring you a fulfillment or some kind of structure and some kind of fulfillment in life. So at some point within our self-image, what's your aim? What is it that you're aiming for that you believe that you can find this happiness? Aim to be happy, aim to be fulfilled, right? Because to be honest with you, when you're aiming, once again, the aiming is not outside of myself, the aiming is within. So I want to be able to now aim within myself to find the happiness, to find the fulfillment, to find everything that I need to be able to manifest and bring my life into another plateau, right? And so we see ourselves moving in this and really getting into this at a greater level and a deeper level, right? What is life all about? Life is about learning the path. When you're young and you're coming up and you're under your parental care, you are a volunteer because you're under your parental guidance, right? Anything that happens to you while you're a child, basically what it's saying to you is that I signed up for this, right? I mean, I'm a volunteer. I'm under my parental guidance. I'm learning the path. When you become an adult, you're no longer volunteering. You're no longer a victim. You're volunteering. So when you're under your parental guidance, you're a victim, right? Because everything that happens, you're under your parental guidance, that's what happens. But once I become an adult, I become a volunteer. I signed up for it. I'm learning the path as a young person, right? As a young child growing up, you're learning the path. You're learning about life. You're learning about things. When you become an adult, you start practicing the things that you've learned, the things that your mother, your father taught you, the things that your neighborhood, your environment taught you, the things that you learned in school. These things that you have learned, now you become to practice them. You become and you begin to put them into practice. You begin to apply them to your lives, right? After you become and after you learn the path and you practice the path in life, now you become the path. Now it's a oneness. It's a coming in of now I'm moving into a level of mastery. No longer, I've already learned the path. I've already practiced the path, but now I'll become the path, right? That's what life is about: learning, practicing, and becoming. Once again, you never get out of life what you want. You only get out of life what you become. If I want to be successful, I have to become successful, right? So those that know me know I love films, right? About writing and watching films. So if I'm going to declare myself a filmmaker, I can't hope to be a filmmaker or wish to be a filmmaker. I have to become the filmmaker, right? Even on the inside, I have to see myself being a filmmaker. I have to believe that I can be a filmmaker, right? I have to believe that it is a possibility, that is a reality for me to be a filmmaker, because in order for me to initiate and move into that direction, life is not going to give me if I'm hoping and wishing for it. I have to become it before I can actually seize it and embrace it. And so in your life, you're getting to a part of learning. There's a part of practicing, and then there's a part of becoming. When you become the very thing that you want to manifest, it has to show up in life, because when you become something, it becomes a part of you. It becomes a one connectedness of you, right? There's no separation of anything. So listen, whatever it is today that you want to manifest, right? Whatever it is that you want to see yourself being, doing, and having in life, there's no separation between that thing and you. There's a oneness. The very thing that I want to create is a connection to me. It's of me. It's as if I'm giving birth to it, right? And so when you begin to understand that, you begin to say, wait a minute, you mean to tell me this book that I'm writing, this business that I'm starting, this career path move that I'm getting ready to make, all these things are a connection of you, right? There's no separation. A lot of us think that they're separated from us. No, these things are being birthed out of us, right? Because of our dreams, our goals, our concepts, right? These are the things, these are the intuitive or the intangible things that have been going through our mind. So now we're going to take the intangible thoughts that are in our mind and now make them tangible. And so as we begin to do that, we move into that level of understanding of being able to know that, wait a minute, my life is really all about learning, practicing, and becoming. Now, in this particular sequence, 5 secrets to mastering the game of life, we're going to stay here for a minute. I really want to get into this, right? This right here is one of the most pivotal keys you could ever have. Listen. When you change your thinking, you change your belief patterns, right? Now, they say that a belief is not an idea that you have, but it's an idea that possesses you, that has you, that possesses you, right? Many of us have grown up and we have certain beliefs because our parents have certain beliefs. But when we got older and we begin to experience things differently, we changed our thinking, right? Which changed our beliefs. Whatever it is that you're believing about yourself right now at this particular moment in your life, in order to change your belief patterns, you have to first change how you're thinking. What is your thinking pattern like? How am I thinking? Am I thinking closed in? Am I always thinking negative? Am I always thinking about things that are not positive? Am I always thinking that the worst is going to happen? Am I always thinking about doom, gloom, and hardship and struggle? You know, what am I thinking about? Because until I change my thinking, I won't be able to change my belief. Changing my thinking is going to change my belief. Now, when I change what I believe, it changes my expectation, because guess what? Now that I change my belief, now I no longer believe about sorrow and hardship. Now I change my thinking, which changes now that I believe in myself. I believe about success. I believe that there is a better life out there for me. I believe that I can do better. I believe that no matter how bad the hand was dealt to me in the game of life, that I still have an opportunity to now move into a greater dimension, right? Now, when I change my belief, it changes my expectation, because wait a minute, some of us don't have an expectation at all. We talked about this earlier. Some of us are in life and we just don't care. Whatever happens, happens. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't, right? Expectation is very powerful. When you change your belief and it changes your expectation, listen to this. Your expectation is powerful. And when you start expecting things out of life, when you start expecting things to happen, guess what? There's something that's very powerful about your expectation. Listen to this. When a woman is pregnant, what do they say? They say that the woman is expecting, right? What does the woman do? She begins to come home, right? What does she do? She goes home. She begins to start cleaning out the room. She begins to start throwing things away. She begins to start preparing for the baby that's coming. Wait a minute, the baby's not here yet, but she's expecting it to come. So what she's doing now is she's clearing away and preparing for the very thing that she's expecting to come to fruition. So now, if you are expecting something in life, right? If I'm expecting success, if I'm expecting greatness, whatever it is that I'm expecting, guess what? I'm going to start preparing for the very thing that I'm expecting. I'm going to start moving things out of the way. I'm going to start preparing for the success that's getting ready to come. But all of this happens now, going back to me changing my thinking, which now changes my belief. And once I change my belief, it changes my expectation. Your expectation is very powerful, because what it does now, it allows you to start making changes and preparing yourself and positioning yourself for the very thing that you're getting ready to manifest. Once I change my expectation, it brings me now to change my attitude. They always say that your attitude is always connected to your altitude, right? So I may have had a negative attitude. I may have had I really don't care about life attitude. You know, I really don't care about anybody else. Nobody cares about me. Nobody likes me. I don't like anybody else. But guess what? All of that changes now, because I changed my thinking, which changed my belief. It changed my belief. It changed my expectation. Now that I changed my expectation, my attitude is changing now, because the very thing that I'm expecting now is now bringing me into a position now where now I'm getting ready to change my attitude. My attitude is no more negative. I have a positive attitude now, because my expectation is keeping me going. It's keeping me in a different state of mind now, because I'm moving into a greater level of understanding now, right? Once I change my attitude, it now allows me to change my behavior. Now it changes how I behave. It changes. I used to really behave very negatively. I used to really behave, very disruptive, right? I used to be a great disruptive person. Nobody wanted to talk to me. Nobody wanted to be around me. I didn't have a good behavior. I was always the one that always, got in trouble. I was the one. But guess what? All of these things begin to change when I change my thinking. It changed my belief. When I changed my belief, it changed my expectation. When I changed my expectation, it changed my attitude. And when I changed my attitude, it changed my behavior. When I change my behavior, it changes my performance. My performance now, it changes my performance, and it brings my performance to a place of how am I going to perform in life? How am I going to perform and put myself out there, right? All of these things will begin to change from the root. Notice Notice this. None of these changes, these 5 secrets to mastering the game of life, none of these changes happen on the outside of us. All of these changes happened on the inside. The real major change in life always happens on the inside. If you fail to go within, you must learn to live without, right? So these changes that we see all happen from within. Me changing my thinking, me changing my belief, me changing my expectations, me changing my attitude, all inside jobs. These are the systems, the plumbing that needs to be fixed, right? These are the inside things that must be dealt with in order for you to go to the level that you need to go to, right? Doesn't matter what field in life you want to move into, which direction you want to go to, which career job you want to take. All of those things are put on the side for now. These are the things that matter. These are the things that help you to solidify and build the foundation. Because if you can work on changing your thinking and changing your beliefs, and you can work on those things. Now, the thing that I love is that the one thing that gets the ball rolling in this whole sequence of secrets is changing your thinking. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he, right? Man is nothing but the sum total of his thoughts, right? So it's very ironic how your thinking is so important that it starts the ball to rolling of all these indwelling changes that take place with just a small change of how we think, how we perceive life, how we look at ourselves, how we perceive certain things, right? That's why the self-image is so powerful, right? Because we change our self-image about how we see ourselves and how we think about ourselves, right? And a lot of times we compare ourselves to other people. I don't understand why we compare ourselves to other people, or we try to, validate ourselves based on what other people have or don't have, or what they do or what they don't do, because it doesn't matter about what they do or don't do. The only thing that matters is how do you see yourself. The world is a stage. And when you're ready to go out on stage and begin to show the world what gift and service and talent that you are going to serve humanity with, you need to be sure that you have your self-image in place. You need to be sure that you have mastered these 5 secrets of mastering the game of life. Listen, if you can master these 5 secrets tonight, there is nothing in life that you won't be able to succeed, that you won't be able to manifest, that you won't be able to bring into fruition, because these 5 secrets are very key into anything that you're going to do, anything that you're going to do. And so it's very vital that we actually move into these great levels of mastery, being able to really hone in and really work with these things. Now, I like this particular segment here on this page. Until your thoughts are linked with your purpose, there is no accomplishment, right? Many of us don't know what our purpose is in life. It's a very key thing that many people have dealt with, the finding of my purpose. What is my purpose? What is my destiny? I don't know why I was born. They say the 2 most important days in your life are the day you were born and the day you find out why, right? And so the question would be to you is, when you allow your thoughts about what you think about yourself, about being able to connect with your self-image, mastering the 5 secrets of mastering the game of life, when you allow those thoughts to be linked with your purpose. Because listen, the reason why purpose is so important is because your purpose is an ongoing thing. It's not a destination. See, I can write a book, I can put a movie out, I can publish some things, I could put an album out, I could record music. Those things are destinational things. They're plateaus and different things that happen in life. And so you can't get caught up in just those things, because once you put your book out and once you record an album or once you film a movie, that's it. What happens after that, right? You're at a plateau. So if you're walking in your purpose is ongoing. It's something about your purpose that allows you to move in to a greater level of understanding and being able to say, listen, you know what? I'm walking in my purpose. So all of these things that I'm accomplishing, all these accomplishments that I'm having, they're all a part of my purpose. They're not something that I'm just gravitating towards and I'm stopping after it's done. But no, as I continue on my journey in life, these are the things that will begin to transpire. Your destiny is the result of the frozen picture in your present situation, right? In the theater of your mind. What are you focusing on? What is it that you're meditating on? What is it that you're thinking about? Why? You only get out of life what you pay for. That's the only thing you'll ever get out of life. Nobody ever did, and nobody ever will get anything else other than what they paid for out of life. You're watching this and you're saying to me, how are you paying for it in life? I didn't pay to be sick. I didn't pay to be lonely. I didn't pay to be broken, to be disheartened. I didn't pay for those things. But in actuality, you did. Because when I come up with the comment that you only get out of life what you pay for, what you're saying is you only get out of life what you pay your attention to, right? Where your attention goes, power flows, right? If I tell everybody watching this webinar tonight, don't think about an apple, everybody automatically thinks about an apple. Have you ever noticed that when you buy a brand new car, before you bought the brand new car, you never really noticed that car. But now that you bought the brand new car, it seems like every other car is your car, right? Because your attention has been focused on the new car. And so now your awareness has opened up. And so now your awareness has shown you that these are other cars, just like your cars, that are out there. But you're noticing them right away, right? Nothing changed. But what happened is where your attention goes, your power flows. What are you paying for in life? What are you paying your attention to? Are you paying your attention to debt? Are you paying your attention to drama, discord? Are you paying your attention to lack, loss, limitation? What are you paying your attention to? Listen, they say that life is a drama, right? And if life is a drama and there's no audience, the drama won't be able to continue too much longer without an audience. When you pay attention to things in life, you become the audience of the thing that you're paying attention to. So if I'm paying attention to drama, I'm going to keep getting drama because I'm becoming a great audience member on the stage of drama, right? If I'm paying attention to loss, lack, and limitation, guess what? Those are the things that are going to keep coming forward because I become an audience member. I paid attention to those things. I paid for them. Where your attention goes, your power will flow. And so I want you to really, really think about very carefully, what are some of the things that you are thinking about in life? The next power slide that we're going to talk about tonight is the imagination, right? And the imagination is the beginning of creation. The imagination is better than knowledge. Albert Einstein said that the imagination is almost, I want to say, the very thing that allows you to create your reality in life. It is the thing that allows you to create and manifest and really move to different plateaus and different perspectives in life, right? The imagination is the instrument by which you create your world. Anything that you're going to create in life is going to be created by the imagination. The imagination is able to do anything, but only according to the internal direction of your attention. Here we go again. Where your attention goes, your power flows. The imagination is able to do anything, but only according to the internal direction of your attention. And so when you begin to go within and begin to work with the intention your intention focus and what are you focused on, and really focusing on some things, you'll start seeing things begin to open up because you're putting the power where your attention is. And so whatever that power is coming into is going to expand it and begin to enlarge it and magnify it. The drama of life is a psychological one, and the whole of it is written and produced by your imagination. Your life is like a movie. If you don't like the way your life is, you can rewrite the script, you can redirect it. You are the actor, the director, the writer, the producer. You are all these different elements of your life. And if you don't like the way that your life is going, guess what? You can change it. You can make a change. Listen, I need you to stick with me to the end. There's going to be so many great opportunities for you to evolve and move into some different levels that we're going to get into. The imagination is the very door to the reality to which you seek. When you begin to understand and know that, and begin to understand that everything that you're seeking is seeking you, everything that you want to connect with, everything that you want to bring into fruition is the very thing that's going to be coming into you. And so what happens here is, listen, we're honored and we're actually greatly appreciative of the knowledge of knowing how powerful our imagination is. Now, listen, we've talked about some things. We went back, if I could, we talked about playing the game of life. We talked about playing the game of life. Talking about the hand that was dealt to us, and that it didn't matter whether it was a good hand or a bad hand, but that we played the game of life to win. We talked about that hand, right? We talked about being ready to play and to win in the game of life. We must be before we can do. We can do only to the extent which we are. And what we are depends upon what we think, right? We talked about that, right? We talked about the 4 kind of people in the world, 4 types: the players, the watchers, right? We talked about the wanderers and the wanderers, right? We talked about these 4 different types, archetype people, right? Everybody that you'll meet in this world will fall under one of these particular kinds of people, right? We talked about that. We talked about the 5 keys to establishing self-image, right? These are some of the things that we discussed. We talked about the unmasked. We talked about being honest. We talked about being honest with yourself, having a winning feeling, cultivating good habits, aiming to be happy, right? We talked about life, about learning the path, practicing the path, becoming the path, right? We talked about the 5 secrets to mastering the game of life. And this is key right here. This right here will begin to change your life into a whole nother dimension. Once you get a hold of these things and really begin to move into a greater level of understanding of really how to really embrace these things, you'll see a lot of things really taking place, right? We talked about the conceptual aspects of being able to move into a greater level of understanding and moving into a greater level of being able to embrace the changing of our thinking. The power of changing our thinking is what catapults and begins to move us into some great dimensions in life, right? Then we talked about the conceptual understanding of our destiny being the result of the frozen picture in our present situation. That means that whatever we see is what we get. Well, what do you mean by that? Whatever you see yourself being, doing, and having, whatever you see yourself enjoying, whatever you see yourself embracing, whatever you see yourself going out and manifesting, that's the very thing that you will begin to manifest. Until your thoughts are linked with your purpose, there is no accomplishment. You see that? Your destiny is the result of the frozen picture in your present situation. Where your attention goes, the power will begin to flow. We talked about that. We talked about the imagination, which is the beginning of creation, which is one of the most powerful assets that a man has and a woman has in their repertoire. We talked about how the imagination is the very instrument in which you use to create your world. We begin to understand and begin to see that on so many different levels when we go back and see how things are created, how people have been brought into new plateaus and new understandings in life based on how they have maneuvered and went to certain things and maneuvered and really moved and came through and began to really transcend to different levels. So tonight, I want to ask the question, are you ready to play the game of life and win? Some of you that are watching this and are saying to yourself, listen, I'm ready to play the game of life. I'm ready to take my life to the next level. I'm ready to move into a greater level, a deeper depth. I'm ready to move into some great opportunities. I'm ready to play the game of life. I'm ready to be a winner. I don't like the way my life is going right now. Now, notice everything that we talked about tonight, I just talked about it. We shared with you some concepts, some truths. We shared with you some great golden nuggets that I believe will get you really thinking and get you moving in a great direction, right? Great dialogue, great talk. We were able to really put some great concepts together to kind of enlighten you, to kind of expand your mind, right? Because when your mind is expanded, it can never go back to its original form. And so these are some of the things that we begin to look at as we begin to move into those levels, right? So I asked the question, are you ready to play the game of life and win? Are you ready to play the game of life and win in the game of life? Are you ready? Because up until now, the only thing we did was talk. What I want to give you the opportunity to do right now, tonight, I want to start giving you the opportunity to make the changes, to show you the how. Not just to talk about that when you change your thinking, you change your belief patterns, but I want to show you how to change your thinking, which in retrospect will show you how to change your beliefs. I want to show you that how when your beliefs change, you begin now to change your expectations. And then when your expectations begin to change, you now begin to change your attitude, right? I want to show you how. Listen, I'm doing the Art of Manifestation, 6 Keys to Creating Your Own Reality, a 6-week training. It's a done-for-you system, right, on manifestation. In this particular training, this 6-week training, you're going to learn how to advance your career. You're going to learn how to develop self-confidence and self-worth. You're going to learn how to create your own reality. You're going to learn how to redefine your marriage and relationships, right? Business relationships, partnerships, friendships, right? You're going to learn how to redefine them because things are going to be changing. As you begin to change, your outside world will begin to change. And so redefining is going to be very key. Realigning your finances, right? Being able to manifest and bringing the right amounts of financial abundance and financial altitude that you want to bring in is pretty much up to you. But when you take this 6-week course, we're going to be getting into some great opportunities that will allow you to really expand your finances to another level. Establishing the foundation upon which you will build your life on. Listen, anybody that knows anything about building and construction, you know that most of the times when they get to a building, they say, tear the whole building down, tear it all the way down to nothing. We're going to build it back up again. But before I build anything, I must first lay a solid foundation. If we're going to be able to manifest and start building your life and taking your life to the next level, we have to be able to build and get you a solid foundation to build on. we're going to learn about breaking the walls of limitation, right? There's a lot of people that tell me, oh, you know, I can't do this, I can't do that. We're going to break all those walls of limitations that you have, because to be honest with you, the only limitations that you have are the limitations in your mind. The only limitations that you have are the limitations in your mind. And so one of the things that we want to do is we want to work with you on breaking those walls. The next thing we want to talk about is creating the 1-year life map, right? Of if you're moving in the right direction, and if you're going in the direction, if you know where you're going, where's your map? Where's your destination? Where's your beginning point? Where's your ending point? Where are you going in life? And so if we know where we're going in life, we need to have a map. We need to have it mapped out. Because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. What you will also get in the six-week training, you will get a copy of both books, which is The Art of Manifestation, my newly released book, 6 Keys to Creating Your Own Reality. But then you'll also get a copy of my top-selling book, which is entitled 100 Secrets to Mastering the Game of Life. So I want you guys to also be able to get a copy of that as well. You get all of that in the 6-week training. Listen, invest in yourself. Listen, I have 2 options for you tonight. The first option is this, $497. Listen, you get 6 weeks of training with me, right? 6 weeks of training. The training starts on June 29th, right? At 7 p.m. it starts. What I'm going to do as a bonus tonight, I'm going to throw in a 30-minute one-on-one coaching call with me. Listen, those of you that have been my personal clients know that to even book a personal coaching session with me, it's going to at least start off at $297 to get a personal one-on-one coaching session with me. So I'm throwing in a 30-minute coaching session, right? I'm also throwing in the manifestation journal, right? Now, listen, the class starts June 29th, right? Every week leading up to the class, this price goes up $100. So between now and next Thursday, you have between now and next Thursday to get in on this great offer. Begin to enroll, because next Thursday, this price goes up to $100. Listen, I want to see you in the place. I want to see you in this training, because I want to be able to allow you to really enhance and catapult your life. Listen, it's a done-for-you system. Some of you have been saying to yourselves, I've been reading all these self-help books. I've been doing all of these self-help meditations. I've been going to these meetings. I've been going to these conferences, and nothing in your life is changing. Listen, I have a done-for-you system. What does that mean? That means that I am the inventor of the manifestation methodology, right? So what that means is that I've created a program, a done-for-you program, that once I custom make it for you personally, guess what? There's no possible way that you can't manifest whatever it is that you want to manifest in life. It's going to be extremely impossible. These are universal principles that we're learning. Listen, I want to give you the opportunity to invest in yourself tonight. This is option A. It's $497. The training starts, once again, June 29th, 2017, right? We have a 30-minute one-on-one coaching call that you will get with me as a bonus. And then you also will get the manifestation journal, right? That's for the option A. Now, those of you tonight that are saying to yourselves, well, you know what? I really would like to do option A. I really would like to do the $497, but I just don't have it right now. What I want to do for you tonight is we're going to offer you option B, right? Option B is 2 payments of $280, right? Now listen, once again, the price of the training will go up $100 every week until the 29th. So next Thursday, the price will go up to $597. So what I want you to do is listen. I want you to be able to be in on this particular training. Listen, enroll today, invest in yourself. This is an investment. The best investment you could ever make in life is the investment in yourself. It pays the greatest dividends, right? Now, wait a minute. Let me see what's going on here with my staff. Okay. Now, my staff has just notified me, my team has just notified me that at this particular moment right now, and we're about 2 minutes, there's 12 seats that are still left. 12 seats are still available. So listen, if you're watching this webinar, I want to make sure that you have an opportunity to be in this training. My team is telling me that there are 12 seats that are still left. There are 12 seats available. Listen, I want to see you in this training. This is going to be magnificent. This is going to be not just the how, not just the why, not just the how, but it's going to show you how to equip all of the who, what, when, how, why, all together, right? Bring you into a place now where you're going to learn how to manifest all of your goals. All of your goals, right? Now, I want all of you to realize tonight, being able to really manifest and move things into a greater plateau. Listen, I need to see you in the training. Those of you that have enrolled, if you check your emails as of right now, you will see that the offer is going to be in your email. You already received the email with the offer. Listen, $497, you're going to get all of the things we talked about. You're going to get 2 copies of the book. You're going to get the 6-week course. You're going to get a 30-minute coaching call with me. And you're also going to get the manifestation journal. Those of you that say tonight, listen, I can't do the $497, but you want to do the $280, 2 installments of $280. Listen, email me at issacharbay@gmail.com. I want to get you locked in. I want to get you set up. Listen, my team is telling me there are about 12 seats available, still left for the training. Listen, I know we're out of time. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Listen, this has been a great webinar. I hope that you really got something out of the concepts and really got something out of what's going on. But listen, if you're ready to go to the next level, not just about what we talked about, but now to take everything that we've learned tonight and really apply it to our lives to really start making some changes, listen, I want to see you in that training. I want to thank all of you for tuning in. And there's one thing I like to say, your destiny is not a matter of chance, but it's a matter of choice. Thank you.